Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Together, we're Backyard Musings, and I am in Utah for Shersty's relatives. We're visiting her family.
Sort of secret location, and I'm in Apple Valley. And we're talking interesting topic. This kind of goes way back, but we're going to bring it to the forefront here.
We're talking about the plague, and somehow I caught the plague yesterday. I think I got food poisoning all night. I was up puking and coming out the other end too. So I'm just barely coming out of it. So that's why I look so haggard and rough right now. Okay, long before the Black Death killed millions across Europe in the Middle Ages, an earlier, more elusive version of the plague spread across much of Eurasia. For years, scientists were unsure how the ancient disease managed to spread so widely during the Bronze Age, which lasted from roughly 3300 to 1200 BC, and stick around for nearly 2,000 years, especially since it wasn't spread by fleas like later plagues. Now, researchers say a surprising clue may help explain it: a domesticated sheep that lived more than 4,000 years ago. Would you like to know more?
This is fascinating that they were able to do this. Researchers found DNA from the plague bacterium Yersinia pestis in the tooth of a Bronze Age sheep discovered in what is now southern Russia, according to a study recently published in the journal Cell. It is the first known evidence that the ancient plague infected animals, not just people, and offers a missing clue about how the disease spread. And it was a lucky discovery, according to the researchers, I guess. I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah. Quote: when we test livestock DNA in ancient samples, we get a complex genetic soup of contamination, Hermes said. This is a large barrier, but it also gives us an opportunity to look for pathogens that infected herds and their handlers. The highly technical and time consuming work requires researchers to separate tiny damaged fragments of ancient DNA from contamination left by soil, microbes, and even modern humans. The DNA they recover from ancient animals is often broken into tiny pieces, sometimes just 50 letters long, compared to a full human DNA strand, which contains more than 3 billion of those letters.
Hmm. Animal remains are especially tough to study because they are often poorly preserved compared to human remains that were carefully buried, the researchers noted. The finding sheds light on how the plague likely spread through close contact between people, livestock, and wild animals as Bronze Age societies began keeping larger herds and traveling farther with horses. The Bronze Age saw more widespread use of bronze tools, large-scale animal herding, and increased travel, conditions that may have made it easier for these diseases to move between animals and humans. I wouldn't have ever thought of that.
Yeah.
Tool, that's just interesting. So,
Yeah. When the plague returned in the Middle Ages during the 1300s, known as the Black Death, it killed an estimated 1/3 of Europe's population. Quote: it had to be more than people moving, Hermes said. Our plague sheep gave us a breakthrough. We now see it as a dynamic between people, livestock, and some still unidentified natural reservoir for it.
interesting. Researchers believe sheep likely picked up the bacteria from another animal, like rodents or migratory birds. They carried it without getting sick and then passed it to humans. They say the findings highlight how many deadly diseases begin in animals and jump to humans. Ah,
Mm-hmm.
hey, a risk that continues today, as we know from a few years ago, as people move into new environments and interact more closely with wildlife and livestock.
Mm-hmm. The study is based on a single ancient sheep genome, which limits how much scientists can conclude, they noted. And more samples are needed to fully understand the spread, which is code for send me your money. The researchers plan to study more ancient human and animal remains from the region to determine how widespread the plague was and which species may have played a role in spreading it.
They also hope to identify the wild animal that originally carried the bacteria and better understand how human movement and livestock herding helped the disease travel across vast distances, insights that could help them better anticipate how animal borne diseases continue to emerge. Just go to China. Go to Wuhan, man. They got it nailed. They got it nailed. Anyway, we've already sent them enough money.
Right. All right, folks.
Hey,
Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you in the afternoon.
take care, everyone. We'll see you this afternoon. Thanks.